The head coach of the Canadian women's basketball team, Allison McNeill, is now on the line. Coach McNeill, are you there?
I'm here. Yes, I am.
Hello, Allison.
Hey, Lizard. How are you?
Good, thanks.
I thought I'd better phone in.
Well,
Awesome.
thank you so much for joining us. I thought it was a fun little surprise to have you on the show. Lizanne's been talking about her, obviously, the Team Canada journey, of course, qualifying, and then certainly playing at the Olympic Games. What kind of player for you is Lizanne?
Well, hard to describe her because she does so many things well, but I would have to say in terms of her intensity, she's off the charts, and her competitiveness off the charts, her training ethic off the charts, and then she's well, I'll tell you a quick story. So I've told this story to her, and she knows that the first time I saw her, we came to Montreal to do a junior and senior kind of identification camp, and I picked her out right away, and I thought she was somewhat underskilled for her size. She played more kind of inside. And she's just someone that has taken herself from being a very good athlete to being a world-class basketball player. And that takes a lot of commitment and dedication. So I think she's got all the qualities, like I said in the tweet about of being an Olympian.
Now, how do you put into perspective the accomplishments of the team, starting from, of course, where you came from and where you finished in terms of the games?
Yeah, I mean, I really wish that I had on tape some comments that Kim Smith made at a press conference, because I've never heard anyone say it better, but we used to come to Europe maybe 7 or 8 years ago, 10 years ago, and play and just hope that we could keep it within 25. Like, we just had no chance of competing with those teams. It was just where the program was at, and it wasn't like people weren't trying, but we didn't have the experience, and every year we seemed to get closer. And then I really felt like in the last 2 or 3 years, this group of athletes, Liz included, have really committed. And we have a core group that's been together, 5 or 6, 7 years, and I just knew that we could get to the Olympics, and that we were that close to being one of the top teams in the world. And I think we definitely proved that at this Olympics. And it's been a journey, but it's been a commitment by our athletes that have really made it special.
Do you have a lot to build on with all of those close losses against some of the top teams in the world?
For sure. I mean, they're difficult, right? No one wants to go through those. And, I felt like if we'd played Russia in our second, third, or fourth game, we would have beat them, but I'm not sure. I think we looked at the score clock, we were up 10 and kind of froze, and we just weren't ready for that. But, I don't believe our team is the type to look back and go, oh my gosh, I wish. And we did what we could, and we played hard, and we played as well as we could, and I'm just not someone to look back. So I think it is something to build on, though, and I think it's something, sort of the theme at the Olympics was inspire a generation, and I hope that these athletes have done that, and obviously some of them will be back to continue the legacy. But it's proven to all Canadians that we're that close in basketball to winning a medal.
Now, how is it for a head coach at something like the Olympic Games? Lizanne's talked about the athletes and trying to check out as much of the other games as possible. For a coach, are you too busy looking at film and that kind of thing, or were you able to enjoy the Olympic experience as well?
I enjoyed the Olympic experience. For me personally, I'm not that interested in going to other things. I'm kind of been in basketball my whole life, so we watched the men's game on TV when we had a break, but we're pretty busy sort of planning practice and looking at film and getting a scouting report together and putting the film together. So when it was all over, my husband and I were able to catch the men's basketball one day, and then the top of the final four of the women's. But yeah, no, other than that, we did watch a little bit on TV. We saw the 100 meters, and kind of watched what we could, and some of the Canadian events that, like I think Lizanne had talked about, the soccer and that. But I mean, honestly, I really tried to take in what they were doing and watching them experience it, and that was pretty cool just to see the smiles on their faces and the excitement and getting ready for games. And I just wanted to take in the whole basketball experience.
Now, you mentioned your husband. This is just a very unique dynamic as far as I know. Your husband is assistant coach with the team as well. Is that correct?
Right. He's one of the assistants, and the other one is Lisa Tomaitis from University of Saskatchewan. Yeah, the three of us have been together coaching this national team for 10 years. We get along unbelievably fabulously, and we kind of joke that when it's all over, we're going to have to holiday together because we're so used to being together all summer. And I think the players recognize how much we get along and how much we like all of them and respect all of them, and so I think it's just a good dynamic. But my mom and dad worked small business together. They owned a movie theater. They owned a cable television company. And I think I always saw my parents work together, so it doesn't seem weird to me, and we keep it very professionally, and then, when it's not on, it's not on. We're married, but we work well together. And I tell you, no one can tell you when you're doing something wrong, like your spouse. Like there's no one you
Right.
trust more. So, and Lisa's like that too. I trust her just as much as him. So it's good to work with people you really trust.
And as we mentioned to Lizanne a couple of times on the Canadian basketball broadcast during the Olympics, the announcers singled out Lizanne as being sort of the, I guess, the barometer, the emotional and passionate barometer of the team. If she's on, the team's on. Was that a fair assessment by them?
Yeah, I think that is. I think one thing that Liz is, I said before, her intensity level is off the charts and her competitiveness. And I think over the years she's really, I think you'd agree with this, Lizard, that she's really learned to manage it better than when she first came to the national team, which I think sometimes she'd get too amped up. And I think she's really learned to manage it. But I also think we have this team was a little bit introverted. Like we've got a few introverts on this team, which is not unusual, I think, for high-achieving athletes. But Liz is sort of more outgoing and a little, louder and assertive. And so I think that she really did need to bring that to our team. And I think, and she did that because not everybody on her team is like that. And, you have 12 people with 12 different personalities. But I think Liz just brought so much. And coming off the bench like she did, I think just was always a spark to us.
Lizanne, anything to say to the coach?
Well, thank you very much, Allison.
You're welcome.
That's it? No questions? No follow-up? Wow,
Put me on the
Frozen.
spot. I don't know.
Frozen, the one that fires others up and talks so much, and now she's all quiet.
Well, no, it's just funny because I've been talking to a lot of our teammates, mostly Shona and Kim, and we're all saying that we all miss each other, so we need to plan this some kind of reunion or something.
I know. I emailed with Kim today, and I said I'm on I called it a Olympic hangover because you just miss everybody, and you miss the excitement, and you miss the high energy of getting ready for every game. And I'm like, so it's been a week of I've been pretty melancholy, and it's been nice to see family and friends, and my dad had a dinner, but I absolutely miss them. And when we, was it 3 years ago, Liz, when we did the 40 days and 40 nights?
Burned in our memories, yes.
Yeah. So 3 years ago, we got a $100,000 donation, and we were able to really commit some time to training. And I spoke to the veteran athletes. I'm like, this is what we're going to do, and they committed. And I mean, I'm not sure we could do it again. It was tough, but after that summer, I think just so many people bonded, and everybody got so close, and you really miss seeing them.
Now, what does this do moving forward for the program in a couple of different things? One, the fact that you lose a lot of, I guess, nail biters to teams that are regarded as the best in the world in your specific sport. Are the expectations raised moving forward?
I'll speak, and Liz can too. I certainly hope so. They should be. I mean, I think we've seen what we can do and where we're at, and I don't know how many retirements there'll be on the team. I think no one knows that yet. You're just not even thinking, that far ahead at this point. But I definitely think the bar's been raised and the expectations have been raised. But we did the work to get here. It's not just. I'm not one of those coaches that, hey, if you believe, you can achieve. Well, I got to call BS on that a little bit. If you believe, you can achieve if you work your butt off.
Right.
And I think that our athletes did that. So I think if we continue to have people that will work that hard, definitely we're right there.
Final question for you would be specific to Lizanne. She's the only member of the team from Quebec. Is there a reason for that, or is she going to be a trendsetter, or what is the rest of the country's basketball executives' thoughts on this province?
Yeah, I think that we continue to see talent coming out of Quebec, and unfortunately we haven't seen it come to the senior team level as consistently as we would like. We've had a few other players in the program in the past. Isabelle Grenier, who played at Laval, she played with us for quite some years. Went to, I think I think she was sick, actually, got dengue fever. I'm not sure what events she Pan Am's, but that's different things. And we've had a couple other players. I know right now a couple of twin sisters, whose names I'm not going to get right, so I'm not even going to attempt, are with our cadet national team at the World. So there are some up-and-coming kids. Naira Fields, I mean, she did very, very well for us on the cadet and junior level. She'll go to UCLA next year. She's from Montreal. And so we see some young ones coming up. But there's just, kind of been very competitive, as it always is. It's, we don't have anyone from out east. We have one from Saskatchewan, a large number from Ontario because they tend to be very, very strong in women's basketball. But I think Liz will be a bit of a trendsetter, and she's a great role model.
All right. Well, Allison McNeill on Twitter.com, if you want to follow her there, the coach of the Canadian women's basketball team. Congratulations on the achievements from the London 2012 games, and for surprising Lizanne tonight. Really appreciate your time.
My pleasure. And Liz, thanks for everything you did. You're the best.